The silent forest, the planet was quiet. Too quiet. Jara stepped off her small scout ship and looked around. She was young, only 22 galactic years old, but one of the best new explorers in the Zalari species. Her mission was simple: land, scan, the jungle, and leave. No fighting, no danger. But this planet, Valoran Prime, was different. Thick green trees stood like walls around her. Their leaves moved slowly, even though there was no wind. A strange fog hung in the air. Her scanner beeped softly, picking up signs of life all around her. Jara's four eyes blinked. Her heart beat faster. Everyone in the galaxy knew about this place. Only one thing lived here: the Gravok beast. The Gravok was the jungle's apex predator. It was fast, smart, and invisible when it hunted. No one had ever caught one alive. No one had ever survived one attack. Still, Jara wasn't here to fight. She only wanted samples of the plants and to study the sounds. She checked her laser pistol and walked carefully into the jungle. As she moved deeper, the fog grew thicker. Every sound felt louder, every bird, every crack of a branch. Then, silence. Jara froze. Even the insects had stopped. Her training kicked in. She crouched low and turned off her scanner. Something was near. But what happened next she could never have imagined. Through the trees she saw a small orange light. A fire? She crept closer, slowly, quietly. Her heart pounded like a drum. Her hand stayed near her pistol. Then she saw him. A human. He sat by a fire, dirty, thin, and calm. His back was straight, and his face was hard. He wore old, torn clothes. But the strangest thing, he was cooking meat over the fire. Jara stared. That was not possible. No human had ever survived this planet. No human base existed nearby. She checked her scanner again. Nothing. She looked closer at the meat on the fire. Her breath stopped. It was Gravok flesh, black scales, thick, tough muscle. The beast's head lay beside the man, its jaws open, its eyes cold and dead. He had killed a Gravok. Alone. And now, he was eating it. Jara stepped back. Her boot snapped a twig. The man turned. Jara froze. His eyes locked with hers, but he didn't run. He didn't yell. He simply stared. Then, slowly, he smiled. Jara's blood turned cold. The human stood. He was tall. Not fast, not loud. Just calm. He picked up a stick and poked the fire, like nothing had happened. "You going to stay there all night?" he asked in basic trade language. Jara didn't answer. Her voice wouldn't come. The man chuckled. "Figured not. Don't worry. I'm not going to eat you." He looked back at the fire. The Gravok meat sizzled. Jara wanted to run, but something made her stay. This was impossible. This was history. No human had done this. Her species had studied the Gravok for years, and failed every time. But here a single human was surviving. Not just surviving, hunting the Gravok. She slowly stepped out from behind the tree. "You're human," she said. The man looked at her again. "Yeah, name's Rafe." How are you alive?" He smiled again, but this time it was sad. "That's a long story." Jara took another step closer. The Gravok's dead body still lay there, the skull smoking from the fire. She looked at Rafe, then back at the beast. "You killed it?" "Had to," Rafe said. "It tried to eat me first." Jara scanned him quickly. His body was covered in scars, old wounds, claw marks, bite marks, some fresh, some very old. "You've been here? How long?" "Too long." She wanted to ask more, but then a strange feeling hit her. The air grew heavy. Her head hurt for a second, like something was pressing into her mind. Rafe's eyes narrowed. He stood fast. "Get down," he shouted. Jara dropped. A loud roar shook the trees. From the fog, another Gravok appeared, twice as big as the last one. Its body shimmered in and out of sight. Jara grabbed her pistol, but before she could shoot, Rafe was already moving. He pulled a knife, not metal, but made of Gravok bone, and charged. The beast roared again, but Rafe jumped, fast like a blur. He slashed once, then twice, blood sprayed across the trees. The Gravok howled in pain and vanished back into the fog. Rafe landed on his feet, breathing hard, still calm. Jara couldn't speak. This man, this human, he wasn't prey. He was something else. The human problem. Jara sat inside her small camp shelter. Her hands were shaking. She replayed the scene over and over in her mind. A human, alone, cooking Gravok meat, killing the deadliest predator in the galaxy with a bone knife, and smiling Rafe. She had scanned him while he wasn't looking. His DNA was human, but changed. Stronger bones, faster reflexes, strange brain activity. And those scars, they weren't normal. Some looked like burns from inside the skin. Jara tapped her communicator. Scout log entry 17, subject human survivor. Possible Gravok mutation exposure. Situation, highly abnormal. The AI voice responded calmly. No. Human presence recorded on Valoran Prime. No previous landings confirmed. Suggest immediate evacuation. Jara frowned. She had to decide. Leave now and report the truth? Or stay and learn the real story behind Rafe? She looked at her hand. It was still shaking. No, she wasn't done yet. That night, she climbed back, into the forest, this time hidden with stealth gear active. She watched Rafe from the trees. He wasn't resting. He was moving through the jungle like a predator. His eyes scanned the shadows. His feet didn't make a sound. He stopped near a Gravok nest. A real one. Jara held her breath. 2 baby Gravoks hissed inside, crawling on soft, wet legs. Rafe didn't attack. He only watched. Then he whispered something Jara couldn't hear. He dropped something, meat, and walked away. Jara blinked. He wasn't just hunting Gravoks. He was feeding them. The next morning, Jara followed him again. But the jungle seemed different this time. The fog was thicker. Her scanner glitched. At one point, it started reading her own heartbeat as a threat. She stopped to fix the device, then heard a snap. A rope trap lifted her upside down in the air. Nice try, Rafe's voice called from below. Jara struggled. Let me down. Rafe stepped into view, calm as always. I could have killed you 10 times by now. Jara glared at him. Then why didn't you? He smiled and cut the rope. She landed softly. I'm not your enemy, he said. You're just curious, like I was once. She stood up. Once? Rafe's eyes turned serious. Before this planet changed me. They sat by his fire again, but this time Jara didn't feel safe. Not because of Rafe, but because of everything around him. The jungle was too still. The air was too thick. Something invisible was always watching. Jara looked at him. How did you survive the Gravok? They can attack your mind. Rafe touched his temple. They tried, for months, but something in me pushed back. Jara raised an eyebrow. Humans don't have psychic shields. He grinned. Maybe now. One does. Later, Jara sent another report to her ship. Subject Rafe shows high resistance to Gravok mental control. Displays predator behavior but also empathy. Unknown. Connection to jungle ecosystem. Possible hybrid, more study required. But the AI answered coldly. Warning. Subject classified as level 7 anomaly. Eliminate or evacuate. Do not engage. Jara stared at the message. Kill him? Just because he survived? She shut the comm off. That night, she had a strange dream. She was running through the jungle, but she wasn't herself. She was faster. She could feel the trees, hear the worms underground, smell blood on the wind. When she looked into a puddle, her reflection had Rafe's eyes. She woke up sweating. Rafe stood near her, looking into the darkness. "You felt it too," he said without turning. Jara blinked. "What?" he whispered. "This planet talks. You just have to listen. Predator or prey." The fire crackled softly. Rafe poked the flames with a stick like he had done it 1,000 times. Jara sat across from him, her laser pistol still in her lap, just in case. But Rafe wasn't threatening her. He was just calm. Too calm. He handed her a piece of cooked meat. She stared at it. "It's clean," he said. "I don't eat raw gravok anymore." Jara raised an eyebrow. "You mean, you used to?" Rafe smiled without humor. "There were no fire starters, left after my ship exploded. First few weeks were hard. She didn't eat the meat, not yet." "Tell me the truth," she said. "How many Graviks have you killed?" Rafe didn't answer right away. He stared into the fire like it held memories. "Enough to stop counting," he finally said. "But I never kill without reason." Suddenly the fire flickered blue. Jara's scanner buzzed. Energy spike. Rafe stood quickly, knife in hand. He scanned the trees. "Don't move," he said. Jara stayed still. From the shadows, a low growl rumbled. A Gravok was near. No, 2 of them. Jara aimed her pistol. "No," Rafe said softly. "Let me." Before she could argue, he was gone, slipping into the fog like a shadow. Jara activated her camo and climbed a nearby tree, watching. She saw one Gravok, tall, deadly, tail like a whip, waiting silently in the clearing. Suddenly, Rafe dropped from above, landed on the creature's back and stabbed it in the spine. The beast shrieked, but he was already rolling off. The second Gravok jumped at him, but Rafe moved fast, too fast. Jara had seen trained soldiers move before, but this was different. Rafe didn't just fight. He knew the Gravoks, their timing, their rhythm. Like a dancer in a deadly jungle waltz. 2 minutes later, both Gravoks were dead. Rafe stood there, breathing heavy, covered in blood, but his eyes still calm. Back at camp, Jara patched a small wound on his arm. "You don't act like a soldier," she said. "I'm not." "Then how are you this good?" Rafe looked up at her. "Because I stopped being prey." Later that night, Jara asked the question burning in her mind. "Why didn't you call for rescue?" He gave her a strange look. "You think I didn't try?" He opened a storage box made from Gravok bone and pulled out a broken distress beacon. Sent 3 signals. First one was ignored. Second one was jammed. Third one, the Gravoks found before anyone else did. Jara felt cold. "So you gave up?" "No," Rafe said. "I adapted." Jara's thoughts spun. This human had no food, no shelter, no help. Yet he was alive. More than alive. He was winning. But she didn't know if that made him a hero or a monster. "Why are you feeding the baby Gravoks?" she asked suddenly. Rafe didn't answer at first, then he said, "Because they remember kindness, and I may need that one day." Jara stared at him. He wasn't just surviving here. He was becoming part of this planet. As Jara prepared to rest, she looked at the stars through the jungle canopy. This mission was supposed to be simple. Scan the jungle, collect samples, return. Now she was sitting beside a man who killed Gravoks, like they were rabbits. She couldn't decide if he was a miracle or something far worse. But deep in the fog, something else was watching them both. Not Gravok, not human. Something older, and it had finally taken interest. The story of Rafe, the night was quiet. Too quiet again. Jara sat across from Rafe. The fire was smaller this time, and she noticed he used different wood. It didn't crackle, it didn't smoke, it gave off no scent at all. That meant one thing. He didn't want the jungle to smell it. She asked the question that had been building since day one. "Who are you really?" Rafe stared into the flame for a long time. "You want the truth?" he said softly. "Yes." He leaned back against a Gravok skull and exhaled. "Then listen. 3 years ago, Rafe wasn't a hunter. He was a technician, just another crew member on a research ship. They came to Valoran Prime with scanners and samples, not weapons. He barely knew how to fire a blaster. His job was fixing water systems. Then, on day 4, everything went wrong. The jungle struck first, not the Gravox, as something worse. A pulse, not sound, not light, something deeper. Half the crew went mad in hours. The rest vanished. Screams in the fog. Blood on the trees. One by one, gone. Rafe ran. He didn't fight. He hid. Like prey. He built shelters underground, climbed. Trees. Avoided anything that moved. He lived in fear. Then came the voice. Jara blinked. What voice? Rafe looked at her with tired eyes. It wasn't words. More like pressure. A feeling inside my head. At first I thought I was losing my mind, but the voice wasn't trying to hurt me. He tapped his chest. It was trying to change me. He described dreams, dark ones. He saw Gravok eyes in the sky. He felt the heartbeat of the forest. He began to sense things before they happened. Falling branches, hunting paths, danger in the wind. His body changed slowly. He grew faster, stronger, sharper. But his mind changed more. He stopped thinking like a man and started thinking like a predator. Jara listened in silence. "You're not fully human anymore," she said. Rafe nodded. "No." She frowned. "Then what are you?" He didn't answer. That night, Jara looked at the stars again, but they didn't calm her like before. Rafe was more than a survivor, more than a hunter. The planet had touched his mind, and maybe it liked him. Suddenly, her scanner buzzed. Movement, fast, but not Gravok. Something taller, heavier. She turned to Rafe, but he was already gone. Then she heard the scream. Not human, not beast. Something in between. A creature stepped into the clearing. Tall, thin, pale skin like wax. No mouth, only black eyes. It wore pieces of ship metal and Gravok bone. And it looked directly at Jara. She tried to move, but her body froze. Not from fear, from something inside her brain. The creature tilted its head. Then Rafe appeared between them, eyes glowing faintly. "Back off," he growled. The creature didn't move. Jara felt the pressure in her mind growing, like something was pressing against her skull. Then, snap, it vanished. Jara collapsed, her ears rang. "What was that?" she gasped. Rafe helped her up. His hands were shaking. "It used to be a crew member," he said quietly. "Like me." Jara's eyes widened. "But it wasn't human anymore." "No," Rafe whispered. "And neither am I. Not for long." The echo mind Jara woke up gasping, her heart racing. She looked around. Rafe was gone. The fire was out. The air felt thick, like breathing through water. She heard something in the distance. A faint whisper. At first she thought it was wind. But then it spoke again. "Jara, come closer." She froze. It was her voice. Exactly. Same tone, same rhythm. But she hadn't said anything. She grabbed her scanner and activated a wide-range pulse. The screen flashed, multiple life forms, unidentified, all around, moving. Suddenly the forest answered her scan. With a scan of its own, her device blinked red. "You are being watched." She turned, but no one was there. Then Rafe appeared, stepping silently from the fog. "You heard it, didn't you?" he asked. Jara nodded slowly. "It sounded like me." Rafe's face was pale. "It's starting." They moved deeper into the jungle. Fast. "Where are we going?" Jara asked. "To the first crash site," Rafe said. Where it all began. Where the echo started. Jara frowned. What's the echo? Rafe looked at her, voice low. The mind beneath the forest. The thing that listens, learns, copies. They reached a clearing. Vines wrapped around metal. What remained of a crashed pod? Half-melted tech, cracked glass, blood-stained soil. Jara scanned it. Human tech? But this isn't your ship. No, Rafe said. This was the first human landing, before my mission. We never knew. He stepped forward and pointed at a burnt logo on the metal. Project EchoMind. Jara gasped. I read about that, she whispered. Top secret. AI mixed with alien neural tissue. It was banned. Rafe nodded. And now it's awake. Suddenly, a voice echoed from the trees, not Jara's this time. It was Rafe's. I warned them. I begged them not to leave me. Jara turned. What is this? The voice came again. I watched them die, and now I watch you. Rafe looked up into the branches. It's not just listening anymore. It's feeling. The plants around them began to shift. Not like wind, like thought. They moved with purpose. Jara's scanner shorted out. Sparks flew. We have to leave, she said. But Rafe didn't move. His eyes were distant, like he was hearing something she couldn't. Then he whispered, It's calling me. Jara grabbed his arm. Snap out of it. Rafe blinked, looked at her, and for a second his pupils weren't human. They were slits. Like a predator. Then they changed back. He stepped back, breathing hard. I don't know how much longer I can fight it. Jara stared at him. Fight what? She asked. He touched his head. The voice, the hunger. The forest inside me. That night they camped far from the crash site. Neither spoke much. Jara recorded a message in her log. Rafe is changing. The jungle wants him. It may want me too. But I need to know why, before it's too late. As she shut off the device, a final whisper came from the dark. Too late. Too late. Too late. But it wasn't her voice, and it wasn't Rafe's. It was something else entirely. The final mutation. Rafe was breathing hard, kneeling beside a broken tree. His body shook. His hands dug into the dirt as if he needed to feel the earth to stay conscious. Jara stood nearby, stunned. She had seen wounds before, burns, cuts, infection, but never this. Dark green fluid ran down his arm, glowing faintly, in the low light. Rafe, she whispered. That's not human blood. He looked up slowly, eyes glowing with a dim gold flicker. I know. He tried to stand but stumbled. Jara rushed to him, helping him lean against a thick root. His skin felt hot, too hot, like it was burning from inside. I can feel it, he said, growing, breathing, inside my mind. It's not just the jungle anymore. Jara scanned him. The readings were unstable, biosignals off the chart, bone density rising, neural activity spiking like a machine learning at high speed. She backed away, heart pounding. You're mutating. Rafe nodded. Final stage. Suddenly his voice changed. Not in sound, but in weight. It was deeper, not louder, but more connected. I hear the echo every second now, even in silence. It doesn't want to destroy me. It wants to use me. Jara narrowed her eyes. Use you for what? Rafe looked toward the horizon. To reach the stars. He explained. The EchoMind, once a failed human experiment, had merged with the jungle, spreading through roots, plants, and Gravok mines like a silent web. But it couldn't leave the planet, not alone. It needed a body that could survive off-world. It needed a host. Jara stepped back. You mean it wants to turn you into a vessel? Rafe nodded. A weapon with memory. A human who knows pain, instinct, war, and loyalty. She stared at him. You're not going to let it, right? Rafe didn't answer. That silence hit harder than words. Later that night, Jara tried to send a warning signal. Her hand shook as she typed, "Urgent, Rafe compromised. Echo mind adapting him. Danger level extreme. Request extraction. Immediately." The comm light blinked red, signal jammed. She cursed under her breath. Then she heard something behind her, soft breathing. Rafe stood there, eyes dimly glowing, skin slightly pulsing under moonlight. "You tried to warn them." Jara raised her weapon. "I had to." Rafe didn't move. "I understand." But then he added, "They won't save you." She kept the weapon aimed. "Are you still in control, Rafe?" He looked at the trees, then at her. "I think so," he said, "but not for long." Suddenly a roar tore through the forest. A gravok? No, it was deeper, heavier, something new. Jara and Rafe turned just as the ground shook. From the shadows stepped a creature bigger than any gravok she'd seen. It had Rafe's old uniform stitched into its hide. Its eyes were black. Its breath hissed like steam. It wasn't hunting them, it was coming for Rafe. Rafe turned to Jara. "Run." Jara hesitated. "Not without you." His jaw clenched. "If it absorbs me, the echo wins." He grabbed his knife and walked toward the monster, and for the first time Jara realized Rafe wasn't just fighting to survive anymore, he was fighting himself. She couldn't believe it. Jara froze. Her weapon dropped from her hand, forgotten. Rafe sat on a blood-covered rock, teeth sunk deep into the neck of the gravok beast. Steam rose from the creature's massive corpse. Its skull was crushed, its claws snapped, and Rafe, once a quiet technician, was tearing into its flesh like a wild animal. He looked up slowly. His mouth was stained dark green, his eyes glowing like golden fire, but he wasn't snarling. He was calm. Jara took one shaky step forward. "Rafe," she whispered. "What are you doing?" He wiped his mouth with the back of his hand. "Winning." She stared in horror. "You're eating it?" Rafe nodded once. "The only way to stop the echo is to become stronger than it." He stood, towering, taller than before. His body had changed. Leaner, sharper. Not beast, not man. Something between. Jara shook her head. "This isn't you." "It is now." He explained the truth. The gravok beast was the echo's first full success, a perfect hybrid. But when it tried to merge with Rafe, something went wrong. Rafe's mind didn't break like the others. It adapted. It pushed back. And now, he could hear the echo begging him to stop. Jara was speechless. "You're fighting the forest by becoming its apex predator." Rafe looked around the jungle, then up at the stars. "No. I'm becoming something more." Suddenly, a wave of pressure slammed through the trees. The air buzzed. The echo mind was angry, furious. Vines shot from the ground. The trees bent and screamed. The sky dimmed even though there were no clouds. Jara fell to her knees, covering her ears. But Rafe stood tall. He roared, not like a man, not like a gravok, like both. The pressure snapped. Silence. Then, the jungle bowed, branches lowered. Wind stilled. The echo mind had been beaten. For now, Jara stood, her body shaking. You controlled it." Rafe nodded. "I took back my mind, my body, my name." She looked into his glowing eyes. "But are you still human?" He didn't answer. They returned to the clearing. Jara sent her final log. The experiment failed, but one man survived, not just with strength, but with choice. He could have become a monster. Instead, he became the only thing the jungle fears. As the rescue ship finally descended through the mist, Jara looked at Rafe one last time. He didn't move to board. "I'm not leaving," he said. Jara's eyes widened. "Why?" He gave her a small, sad smile. "Because I'm the only one it listens to now." He turned and walked back into the jungle, its new apex. She couldn't believe it. The human was feasting on the planet's apex predator, and now, he was the king of monsters.